My name is Dungan. It's the ancestral name given to me by my grandmother in the Aplay tribe in the Cordillera, Philippines. So I was asked to speak about Kasiyana, the bamboo nose flute music, and what I do in Kasiyana peace and healing initiatives as we journey together through uncertain and challenging times. Let me ask, what do you dream of the future? How do we weave these dreams into reality? I dream of peaceful, happy, and healthy communities. So let me walk you through some landscapes in the Cordillera where I weave these dreams together with the communities. The Cordillera is made of mountain ranges. Its people, collectively known as Igorots, literally live in the mountains. The indigenous peoples in the region have resisted 300 years of Spanish colonization, thus retaining traditions, practices, and knowledge systems that continue to enliven the communities as they adapt and transition through the changes of time. As our communities evolve, ancestral lands remain as sacred grounds of connection to our roots, to our fellow human beings, and to our environment. The mountains, the skies, the rivers, all beings, including the nature and ancestor spirits. Yes, there is deep reverence to the ancestor spirits. They who established the early settlements where the communities now thrive. They who built the rice terraces, the mountain fields that feed and nourish the communities from one generation to another. They who define and protect the territories for the generations to come. There is also reverence to the nature spirits that we consider as partners in the stewardship of the land. So what is Kasiyana? My grandmother used to say, Kasiyana, Kasiyana. When children would fall and get hurt, they start crying or get surprised. She would approach, look into what happened closely, and start blowing and say, give it to the wind. Kasiyana, you will grow out of it. So for us, Kasiyana is a threefold process. Invoked in difficult situations, times of woundedness, of pain, or challenges. First, we recognize the difficult situation. We acknowledge the pain or woundedness. And second, we invoke hope. Third, we undertake loving action to ensure that well-being is restored or the challenges and difficult situations are properly addressed. In a conversation with farmers, one of the leaders said, Kasiyana, recognizing how difficult it is to convince other farmers who have been so used to using intensive chemicals and pesticides to produce their crops in exchange for money. 15 years ago in 2005, our family was shattered with the extrajudicial killing of my husband. He was killed for his social activism and human rights work. As I hugged my young daughters, I embraced Kasiyana. Even as I knew that our lives will never be the same again. We held on to all the love that we had in our hearts, all the memories of shared love, which we knew was greater than our fragile human bodies. So I started dreaming of Kasiyana peace and healing initiatives. In its early stages, I played the bamboo nose flute to comfort myself and my daughters, to silence the many questions in my mind and in my heart. And later on, I played it for advocacy, asserting love, life, and liberty, asserting the sanctity of the sacred breath. Further in our journey, I collaborated with other journeyers and volunteers for individual and collective healing, as the culture of impunity and the culture of violence continued to spread in our land. Getting into the healing journey, I rediscovered my ancestral and cultural roots. I reconnected with farming communities and networked with a broader network of peace and healing advocates. I also studied healing arts. With other volunteers, we collaborated on shared advocacies and resonating projects. Our latest passion project was making hopia filled with red beans. We use pesticide-free red beans produced by farmers in our neighboring villages. The project emerged out of the COVID lockdowns. It also is a form of transforming the constrictive red tagging that I found myself being contained in. Red tagging is a vicious trick to suppress free spirit, creativity, and critical thinking. Finally, let me end with a chant in our own language. Kasiyana, 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 Kasiyana. Anak ko ay naisog pa, ay nga nanaikan kan siga, aka dahilan ta, Kasiyana, Kasiyana. Isipoy ta, kwam say dagam, iyay muhit ka banbantayan, yanod mo ay ginawang, igdang muhit ka patagan, tama asinan, dapay madalusan. Kasiyana, 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 Kasiyana.